Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Purple Slushy back, bringing you guys a new build video. Now, today's build video is called the Art of War build. The reason why I'm calling it the Art of War build is because you're able to cause a lot of havoc in PvP with this build, and you're a total pain in the ass to the enemy, and you're super tanky. You have a lot of sustain, and you have a lot of damage. So, getting right into the build, getting into the stats, we are sitting at 3k spell damage, almost 39k max magicka, 17,500 health with 14,500 max stam. You will have more max health in Cyrodiil. My recovery is 1529. Now, these stats are very good. 3k spell damage is exactly what you want, especially for PvP. Now, I've taken like the normal Sorc build and I've taken it to the next level because I'm able to achieve over 4k spell damage with this build, and I still have very good sustain. I am rocking the Atronach Mundus Stone, so it's giving me 238 extra recovery, so I'm sitting at 1529 recovery. Going right into the gear that I'm rocking with, I am rocking 5-piece Burning Spell Weave. What this is going to do, it's going to give me max magicka, spell damage, spell crit, and then when you deal with flame damage, you have a 20% chance to apply the burning status effect. What this does is in every 8 seconds, you're going to be getting that 579 buff, and then there's going to be a 4-second cooldown where you're not going to have that buff. During those 4 seconds, the best thing to do, is go into your overload bar, put it on your shuffle, put on your Boundless Storm, put your mines up, get your shields back up, switch to your front bar, go back to the DPS, and get that buff back. The other 5-piece set that I'm running with this setup is called Kagernak's Hope. What this does is max magicka, magic recovery, max health, and then 219 spell damage, and you can res people pretty quick. The reason why I went with Kags is because I felt like it was a very good set to go very well with what I'm trying to achieve, which is sustain with damage. And then the last piece of gear with this build is 1-piece Kina. That adds spell damage. My staffs, my defending staff, or my resto staff is defending, and my normal flame staff is sharpened with a 348 spell damage enchant. Now, any normal staff with the 348 spell damage enchant is automatically going to give you more damage than any Maelstrom staff in PvP. So anytime you guys want more bursts in PvP, definitely go with the 348 spell damage enchant. So now let's go over here to the test dummy and actually check out to see what the damage is that I can actually get with this build. So, put up my buffs. So 4,167 spell damage. It was that high for a second because my spell damage enchant proc to my staff, which can happen every 5 seconds with no cooldown. 17k health, again, almost 39k max magicka with 14k stam, 1500 recovery. Going into my champion points for this build, we are sitting at 93 in the Magician for 15.3% reduced cost of magic spells, 89 into Arcanist, 23% increased recovery, 18 into Tumbling for 6% extra dodge roll and break free, 100 into Elemental Expert to increase your magicka and your elemental damage, 53 into Elfborn for 16% extra crit, 17 into Spell Erosion for 1,000 extra spell pen. This stacks really nicely with a sharpened staff because then you have over 6k spell pen. 24 into Staff Expert for 9% extra damage with your light and heavy attacks, and then I put a little bit into Shattering Blows because I fight a lot of people that have staffs. The reason why I put 30 points into this tree is for this passive right here. What this passive does is while blocking, it grants you a 15% chance to return 4,628 damage to the attacker when you block a melee attack, and it can occur once every 5 seconds. So basically it's a free 4,700 damage to the opponent when you block their melee attack, which is really nice. Going into the red tree, we got 78 into Elemental Defender. I am a vampire for this build, so you do want a lot into Elemental Defender to negate all that fire damage that you're taking. 48 into Hardy to reduce poison, disease, physical damage dealt to you, and then 11 into Thickskin to increase to reduce the damage that you take from. I have 18% increased shields. Now, I am barely running any impen with this or any crit with this build crit resist. I'm only sitting at 258. I'm kind of a savage. I don't recommend doing this unless you really know what you're doing on your Sorc and you're really just confident in your ability to apply your shields often, and to make sure that you're not getting caught without your shields ever, because when you have your shields up on a Sorc, you can't be crit, but when your shields are down, you can be crit. So it's up to you. If you want to go and get a little bit more sustain, then yeah, run divines with infuse like I'm doing. But if you want to be more tankier, then run crit resist. I've gotten a ton of 1vx's with this build, not having any crit resist really, so it is possible to do really good and have some crazy video clips, some crazy fights with having barely any crit resist, as long as you know what you're doing. Going over my abilities that I'm using. For my abilities, I don't use Power Surge, I use Entropy. So my front bar is Entropy, Endless Fury for my Execute, Curse, Crystal Frag, Crushing Shock, and Meteor. On the back bar, we got Mist Form, Healing Ward, Streak, Harness Magicka, and Hardened Ward. And on my back bar, in my overload bar, we got Dark Conversion, Boundless Storm, Shuffle, Daedric Minefield, and Hardened Ward. Now, the reason why I'm using Entropy over Power Surge is this reason right here. So Power Surge, yeah, you're getting the 20% extra damage for 33 seconds, and you're also getting 2,500 health every 1 second if you are hitting people with critical strikes. But here's the problem. In PvP, so many people run Impen, so you're not going to be critting as often as you normally would, and unless you're running a really high crit chance build, you're not going to be taking the full advantage of getting the heals that you could be getting from Power Surge. So with that being said, that's why I run Entropy. So what Entropy does is it's giving you 1,800 health every second, guaranteed for 6 seconds, gives you 20% spell damage, and then it also increases your health by 8%, which is really nice. One more thing that totally just makes Entropy better over the top is this passive right here from the Mages Guild. What this does is casting a Mages Guild ability grants you Empower, increasing the damage of your next direct damage attack by 20% for 5 seconds. So basically what that means is if I Entropy then Curse, that Curse is going to get 25% more damage. So normally like my combos that I do would be Entropy, Curse, then I'm gonna get that procs Crystal Frag, and then I'm just gonna weave that in, and I'm just gonna keep doing that same combo over and over and over. Every time I get a Crystal Frag, I'm gonna release it. Yeah, and that's pretty much how you're going to do your combos on this build. You have a ton of bursts, so people aren't really, you're gonna be surprised how fast you can melt people with this build. People aren't gonna see it coming. They're gonna be like, holy shit, I just got fucking bursted like super quick. So yeah, it's a pretty cool build. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be uploading some gameplay with this build this weekend. It's been your boy Purple Slushy. See you guys next time, and peace.